I'm not sure how to follow. I really don't. To be honest, I was a little bit worried about coming up and speaking in front of you, and I was genuinely thinking, my God, this is going to be the worst part of the day. But obviously, we were in the church earlier, and I heard you all sing, so I'm not too. I'm not too fussed now. I was quite chilled. I hope you've all had a great day so far and enjoying the fantastic surroundings. It's absolutely incredible, and I'm really pleased on behalf of Dominique and I that so many of you have been able to come and join us. We appreciate it. It's obviously a long way to come, and you've all come at taking time off from work and at great expense. So it's really, really appreciated that you can come and share our special day. Thank you ever so much. Now, in light of what Dave said, he's not far off. So. When I started doing my speech, I thought, well, who should I go to for a bit of advice and guidance? And obviously, David's had a long and successful marriage, which started with a speech, obviously exactly the same as what I'm doing today. So I said to him, Dave, what should I do? What do I say? What should a wedding speech contain? And he looks at me, completely deadpan, and says, make it like a miniskirt. Oh, what? A miniskirt, Dave? Yep, miniskirt. Long enough to cover the essentials, but short enough to hold my attention. I think it's fair to say Dominique has been a very patient girl, and this wedding has been a long time in the making. I met Dominique 10 years ago. We were both working in a university bar, and I will never, ever forget the first time I laid eyes on her. She strutted through the bar, perfectly coiffed blonde hair, a winning smile, and a touch of arrogance. It was like looking in a mirror. According to the maid of honour, however, Dominique describes our first encounter a little differently. She says that meeting me for the first time was like having met an overconfident boy band reject who dresses like a poor man's David Beckham and never takes off his trucker cap. And not a lot's changed. But in all seriousness, I'm really glad to be here, taking the next step in life with you, Dominique. I wanted to tell you a little bit about some of our personality traits, and obviously you've got our parents here, and hopefully you've all had the opportunity to meet David, Rosetta, and my mum Julie, and they've obviously formed the bulk of our character. So I wanted to explain to you where some of those bits come from. So I wanted to start with Dominique. So David and Rosetta are obviously a lovely couple, but they've got a couple of key attributes, key characteristics that they passed on to Dominique. So one of which is determination. And you've already heard a little bit about it, so thanks for that, Dave, but I'll go for it anyway. Dave is extremely determined in everything he does. At work, his customers come from far and wide because no job is too big. And in his personal life, things are no different. So when the delights of my stag destination were described to him, Dave stated without hesitation, "There's no bloody way I'm missing that." Yes! Determination. The second attribute is leadership, and that certainly comes from Rosetta. Rosetta is a leader. At their factory, she keeps the wheels turning. She's always confident in her ability to instruct the team around her and achieve their end goal. In her personal life, things are not much different. Sunday nights in the Strasdin house run like clockwork. Rosetta will reliably be instructing her troop, David, to fill up her champagne glass at 5.2-minute intervals and top up the ice bucket. Achieving ice-cold bubbles is the only goal. She's a leader. And Mum, not to forget you, of course. I think everyone will agree here that you're extremely tenacious, a character trait that has rubbed off on all your children. Your tenacious nature was recently demonstrated when your badly behaved dog decided it was going for a 5-hour swim in the river. The now infamous Mexican standoff between Freddie and Julie Charnley. Your tenacity paid off when the beast was finally defeated due to severe exhaustion and hunger. Well done, Mum. Very tenacious. But in all seriousness, David and Rosetta, you've raised a stunning daughter who finds pleasure in everything she does and joy in simple acts of kindness. and for that, I thank you. Dave, Rosetta, and Julie, Dominique and I sincerely appreciate your support with not only the wedding, but with our lives in general. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please be upstanding for the parents? Now, sadly, there are a few loved ones who cannot be here today, some because of long distances, and some because, sadly, they are no longer with us. I just wanted to mention very, very briefly, obviously somebody very close to the Strasden family, and that's David's brother, Robert. So I'd like you, I know they're obviously extremely sad that unfortunately he can't be here to witness this, and he would have absolutely loved things that have gone on today, and he would have had a corking time and enjoyed meeting you all. So I'd like if you could all just raise your glasses, please, to Robert Strasden. And I'd also like to thank the lovely maid of honour and the bridesmaids for helping Dominique in her last-minute panics this week. And she has been panicking, I can assure you. It's been pretty hectic. And also for organising some memorable engagement celebrations. Chantel, Nicola and Amy, you all look lovely today. And I thank you for being there for Dominique. Rachel, as my sister, it's a rarity that you'll ever hear this. But just so you have a record on camera, she's over there. Saturday, 20th of June, 2015. Rachel, you also look lovely. Ladies and gents, would you please have a quick drink for the bridesmaids? And finally, we're done. Way. A word about my wife. Dominique is incredible. I feel extremely lucky to stand before you all and say that I have found the perfect woman for me. You are completely unique, and I feel extremely grateful that I found you so early in my life. I'm looking forward to enjoying what the future holds for us both as man and wife. Ladies and gents, would you please be upstanding to Dominique? Woo! And that's me done. And now I can have some champagne. I'm just going to pass you on to my best men, Gavin and Stuart.
Everybody, I've just been asked to make this a little bit more interesting by Trevor, and obviously we're a bit behind schedule. So every time I mention the word Trevor, Trev or Stuart mentions any of his nicknames, could anybody under 40 that's interested in having a bit of fun tonight, just please do 2 fingers of your whatever drink you're consuming. So this is going to be quite interesting for you guys by the end of this. So, firstly, obviously, thanks everyone coming. I know, obviously, we've gone through this before, but I think it's a massive testament, to the friendship and support that Dominique and Trevor have, and and the huge distances that people have come today. People have come from South Africa, from Ireland, from all over the world, and I think it says a lot about you both that people are willing to do that. And before I get into the speech, I just want to kind of offer my sincere condolences, really, because I think today's, a bit of a sad day for some people. Mr. and Mrs. Strasden, you're both lovely people, but unfortunately today you definitely lost on the son-in-law lottery, didn't you, really? I don't think there was anybody who could have got worse, if I'm completely honest with you. Trevor's made only one kind of stipulation to this speech, and it was around no previous discussion of no previous conquests or women. So what was shaping up to be a 3-hour trilogy is now looking to be somewhat of a 2-minute preview. So it could be fairly quick. So to the groom, Trevor was born June 28th, 1985, and according to his family, he had some serious issues with wetting the bed with his feet, and him being a proper geek, the favoured child. And now how times have changed. So Trevor attended Leah St Mary's Primary School, where I understand his most memorable achievement was to win the first prize in the local fancy dress. And being a northern boy, Trevor chose the costume of a Tetley's tea bag, I understand. Which was an absolute... King Edward's. Trevor was awarded an academic scholarship for outstanding academic achievement, and he was actually moved up a year at school. So he's an incredibly intelligent intelligent guy. And obviously this is a far cry from the man that Mr. and Mrs. Strasden met, I understand. On his first visit to the Strasden household, Trevor decided to enjoy a drinking contest with, well, not necessarily a drinking contest, but a drinking evening with David and Oliver with some of David's home brew. And I understand that by the end of the evening, Trevor couldn't even speak. So probably a slightly different kind of representation to the one that was awarded an academic scholarship. So kind of enough of the stick. I just wanted to kind of really share some of the memories that I have of Trevor and how he's demonstrated some amazing skills over the years. You know, he's an incredibly loyal person. He's got fantastic international diplomatic skills. He's very caring. He likes to fight global hunger. And he's a true law-abiding citizen. So loyalty. Let's get to this one first. After a night out when we were younger, Trevor and I used to go to the same takeaway every week. And Trevor one evening got really, really frustrated because I ordered an incredibly small pizza, and Trev took massive ump with this. You know, he's really, really pissed off that I got a small pizza. So as he's getting more and more irate, and as some of you will know, when Trevor's had a few drinks, he can get fairly irate. And we decided to walk outside, and Trevor, in his angered state, decided to relieve himself over the owner of the taxi's, the owner of the takeaway's car. So, needless to say, we never visited that takeaway ever again, and I never had a very small pizza that upset Trevor. In terms of his international kind of diplomatic skills, I used to live in Qatar, and Trevor very kindly said, you know, I'd love to come out and see you and see what it's all about. And those of you that don't know Qatar, it's a Muslim state which is incredibly religious. It's probably similar to Saudi Arabia. When you're walking around outside, you're not supposed to show anything above your knees. You're not supposed to show your shoulders. One night after he arrived, Trevor was staying in the hotel, and he said to me the next morning, he said, oh, Gav, I ended up going down, I got locked out of the room. I was like, well, okay, what happened? And he said, well, I ended up in the lift with a local family, and I'm thinking, all right, okay, well, you're a bit drunk, which is not legal, great. And he's like, they're dressed in, and in Trev's words, one was a ninja and one was a ghost. So that went down bloody well. And and then it gets better, don't worry. And then he says, so I ended up in the reception, trying to get a key. Now, this story sounds relatively amusing until you realise that Trevor was dressed solely in his boxer shorts. It could have been the fastest deportation in Qatar's history after arriving 8 hours earlier. Trevor also shows his caring side. When we were younger, as boys do, you're trying to chat up a couple of girls. When we were very young, we were in a bar one evening, and Trevor, and I'm a bit of a lightweight, so I don't mind to admit that. So I ended up in the toilets one evening because I was throwing up. And we were chatting up these two girls, and as I got back, I realised that I was no longer needed because Trevor had decided to look after both girls and try and chat them both up. So, he showed his true caring side that evening. Global hunger. Now, let's get to this one. So, again, every story involves alcohol with Trevor and I, unfortunately, but the global hunger, we once went on an evening out, and we ended up at Greg's. This was after the takeaway incident, so we were no longer allowed there. We went to Greg's the Baker's, and Trevor ordered a couple of sausage rolls. And on his way home, he decided that every single person we walked past needed some pastry from these sausage rolls blowing in their faces. I can tell you what, that was one of the most interesting journeys I've had home ever, I think. And we nearly had a few interesting incidents that evening. So, and also, sorry, I'm getting lost here. 1 second. This is... And as a law-abiding citizen, this one I did not know until Rachel, Trevor's darling sister, pointed this out to me a couple of days ago. So, as we know, Trevor was an academic scholar, a very bright student, however, not that bright. When he was younger, him and his mates went out when he was 13 years old in the evening and decided that stealing car number plates was the order of the day. Now, this is a stupid activity in itself. However, Trevor decided that the police sergeant's personal car was the number plate he was going to try and steal. And apparently the only reason he wasn't locked up was because Mrs. Charnley and Paul Rotherham managed to spend 4 or 5 hours disputing this was out of character and managed to save him. So, an interesting incident. But in all seriousness, I kind of... enough of the ribbing now, But I just want to kind of say that it's an enormous honour for this, me. I've known Trevor since we were 10 years old, and he is like a brother to me. And it's been a fantastic privilege to be one of the joint best men, and I wish these guys nothing but happiness for the rest of their lives. And I'm so pleased that he's found Dominique, because it's about the only person in the world that could level him out a little bit. So it's brilliant. But thanks very much, and enjoy the rest of your evening, guys.
Boom. Cheers, Gav. Hello, everyone. Woo! Right, 3 lovely, lovely speeches. Dave, Trev, Gav. And I really don't want to lower the tone, but I'm going to try my best to do so. But firstly, on behalf of everybody here, I would like to thank and congratulate Dominique and Trevor. Toast. Why not? Come on. Trevor and Dom. And thank you both for making us travel so fucking far and take a day off work. Cheers. But it's on my iPhone. Bear with me. I wrote it today. But who best to do it for than our very own Posh and Bex? For those of you who don't know me, I'm Stuart. And if you haven't had the pleasure of meeting me before, I'm the other best man along with Gavin, who gave a fantastic speech earlier. I was thrilled when Trevor told me that he was planning to ask Dom to marry him. Genuinely. I've known them both a long, long time. And I know Trevor very well. And when he's ready to settle with anybody, like me, very impatient, very hard to please. And I knew from that time that, well, I've told you, so I don't want to start crying, but I was very pleased for you. Woo! But I was nervous because I knew that he balls things up a lot. Is he going to do it properly? Is she going to say yes? But I wasn't worried. I've taught you well. You ready? Oh, you're nervous? Because this is all really nice, isn't it? This is lovely. Also, I was delighted when Trevor asked me to be best man, along with Gav, as I said before. But needless to say, Trevor's understandably more delighted, more so, when I accepted. Of course, the offer of some stolen uni cufflinks. Yeah. Anyone else rocking these tonight? Uni, Aiden? Got a pair of these? Rocky? Because I think you stole 15 pairs, didn't you, when you left? So thanks for pushing the boat out, mate. Oh, no, I'm joking. Come on. Are you offended? No. A little bit.